I remember I was in the seventh grade. Some classmates and I were waiting outside our classroom. Everyone was just talking amongst each other, and this guy who was somewhat popular in middle school, he would end up being more popular in high school. The point is, I remember him like kind of like messing with my hair, like boom, like you know what I mean. And at the time, my hair was way longer than it is now. But I've always had this kind of like swoopy hair. And I remember him making like a face and making a comment that was super embarrassing. So when he smacked my head. So when he like smacked my hair or messed with my hair, dandruff, came out. And I remember him like making a face like a face of disgust. And then there was like girls around too. And he was like, "Did you see all that dandruff that came out of his hair?" And I remember being so embarrassed because it's like I've never been able to control it. And at that point, I already knew that dandruff was kind of like seen as gross. You can't control it, but it's always been seen that way. Fast forward to high school. I was a sophomore. A similar situation kind of happened. So there was this student that was, I'm not gonna lie, he was pretty much a bully to everybody in the class. If I don't really know you or know anybody in a class, I don't really talk. I just kind of just do what I gotta do or not do it, because at high school I was a pretty bad student. I just kind of just sat there. And I remember for whatever reason, this dude smacked me in the back of the head too, because I sat right next to him, and he smacked me in the back of the head. I remember getting so angry that I smacked him back. With the guy in the seventh grade, I think he was just messing with my hair because it was so long and swoopy. But this guy just smacked me in the back of the head, and I smacked him back, and he got angry. I don't remember if because he got angry, he said this, but sure enough, for a fact, he said this. He's like, "Oh, did you see all that dandruff come out of his head? Like freaking gross." He didn't say freaking, but he was like, "Oh, gross." At that moment, I was just angry that he smacked me in the head. I didn't care so much about the comment until afterwards. And then I was like, "Oh yeah, like that is gross," is what I thought at the time. I remember also in high school, I was in band. I played the clarinet. And if you don't know anything about band, like woodwind instruments or like the smaller instruments, they sit at the front of the band. And so our uniform for concerts and performances was a black tuxedo and a dress shirt and a bow tie, dress pants and dress shoes or whatever. And so if you have dandruff, your worst enemy is black clothes, because white and black contrast each other. And so I remember I was headed to a performance, and I had to wear, obviously, the uniform. We're warming up with the band, going over scales or whatever. And I remember looking over my shoulder and seeing like flakes of dandruff. And I was like, like, man, why, God, why? Because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because people see dandruff as like, oh, you don't shower, you don't massage your head or whatever. And I remember just looking over my shoulder, and I'm like, I'm surrounded by people who don't have it, or that don't have it as bad as I do. And I remember feeling so embarrassed. And I'm sure that maybe people don't really care. But the fact that I cared so much made it even worse, if that makes sense. And I remember all of my younger life looking for a cure, looking for this thing that's gonna stop dandruff forever. Because at least in my family, there's some of us that have dandruff and then some that don't, like just do not. And I just felt like I was dealt a bad hand by God. Like, what the heck? Like, we come from the same blood, but some of us have dandruff and some of us don't. But I remember just like looking at every solution possible. Like, I tried Head and Shoulders, I tried expensive shampoos, I tried conditioner, different types of conditioner, like, is it like vegan conditioners? I don't know, like without chemicals. And I remember vinegar with water in it, or like diluted vinegar, spraying it in my hair and making my head smell disgusting. I tried everything, and like nothing would cure it. Like, it would somewhat solve it, maybe make it a little bit less noticeable or as irritated, but like nothing would cure it. Fast forward many years since I've been in 7th grade in high school, it's still my greatest insecurity because I can't control it. From what I know, there is no cure. Like, you know, you put this in your hair and it's gone forever. You're never gonna have to deal with it. But this is a little parentheses for people that have dandruff. If you don't, you can just skip this part. But a shampoo that I recommend is called Nizoral. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. From my experience, that's been the best shampoo that I have tested out for myself, that has not extremely bad dandruff and not like barely any dandruff, but like I feel like right in the middle. The one thing though is that it is pretty pricey. It's like $25, I want to say, like a nice good sized bottle. So I would try Amazon, or I don't know, coupons or something like that to get it a little bit cheaper. But if you can't afford it, like if you can only afford Head and Shoulders, or I don't know what other solution you have, one thing that I've noticed for myself is to leave in that solution that you've used. If it's, I'll give you an example, like Head and Shoulders, it only works if I really leave it in. So like I'll hop in the shower, you know, wet my hair, put on the Head and Shoulders or whatever solution you have, leave it in there for like 5 to 10 minutes while you know, bathe the rest of your body, and afterwards wash it out. That's what I have noticed that works for myself. Hopefully it'll work for you. Back to the overarching story of this greatest insecurity. I don't know, I just wanted to hop on here and just kind of let the world know. It's kind of like the 8 Mile approach. Like if you kind of roast yourself, if you kind of just put it out there, then it doesn't have any power over you, because at the end of the day you can't control it. At least I can't control it. It's not the worst thing in the world to have dandruff, but yeah, it is my greatest insecurity. There's worse things in the world to be insecure about, or there's like real problems that people are facing. Let me know what's your greatest insecurity down below. No, I'm just kidding. Let me know what you think about this video. Give this video a thumbs up. Maybe you have a solution to dandruff. You have the cure. Yeah, I don't know. I think we were all created in the image of God. I think we're all beautiful in our own ways. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.